Welcome to my webinar. Uh, I do these webinars just to explain and give you a sense of what this 8-week success bootcamp is all about. It is not a training in the traditional sense. In our industry, what happens is there's a training, they tell you how much it's going to be, you pay for it, and then you show up on day one. This training is not like that. In this training, what has to happen is, even though we get started December the 4th, a month prior, up to 3 weeks prior, participants sign up and do a series of assignments to get them ramped up for the first session of December the 4th. So it's kind of weird. You sign up not to be in it, you sign up to see if it's going to fit your personality. So today is just for me to illuminate why I designed it this way. Because I did not design it as a training program. I designed it mostly as a coaching, mentoring program. And this is why it's different. This is why I only take 20 people. 20, 24, depending. And once we reach that number, that event is closed. This is why also I only do 4 of these events a year maximum. I normally do 3 a year. No, most of you don't hear about this program because usually a broker will have me do it just for his office. So this is why you don't hear about it a lot. So let me get into explaining the boot camp, give you a sense of it, make sure you understand what you are participating in. My name is Key. I consider myself a prospecting coach. I'm an activity coach. I'm not a let's learn the information and see what happens. I'm more interested in what you do, not just what you know. See, knowledge for me is important. It is good to know what needs to be done. But knowledge is everywhere in our industry. Knowledge, you can find it. You can get books, you can read. Knowledge is important. The problem with our industry is not knowledge. The problem with our industry is implementation. So as I was designing this boot camp, I was targeting a small group of agents. And you'll see why in a second. And that small group of agents are the kind that are hungry. They have a hunger inside of them. They're not coming in to observe the business. They're coming in to roll up their sleeve and get to work in the business. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to grab a piece of paper and just write down that URL. bit.ly / 8WDEC 2020. That URL is where you will find all of the other information you need about the bootcamp. It is the place also where you register. It is the place where you read the requirements. It is the place where you get going with this bootcamp. So that's the place to go to if you want to know more about this. Let me get into explaining what the bootcamp is all about. See, I'm interested in 2 major questions. Why is it that nearly 80% of all of real estate is done by no more than 20-25% of agents? Why is that a fact? Why is that so? And the second question is, why is it that some agents come to the business and their sites are clear? They become listing agents. And the rest kind of meander, they do this and they do that and they try this and they try that, but it never gels. It never works out for them. Why is it that some are able to take off and others are not? Those are the 2 questions I posed to myself. And it was a question of, does intellect matter? Does the level of intelligence of the agent is the requirement in success in real estate. And guess what? It is not. Whether you have a master's degree, a PhD, a bachelor's degree, or simply a high school diploma, it is not a measure of success in real estate. So it was not just knowledge. We knew that knowledge made a difference, but it was not just knowledge. What was the other part? Well, the other part is how you interact with consumers. People call it how to be a people person. Yes, but a particular type of people person, and not an order taker, more of a prospector. Think of it this way. Some people call it fishing, some people call it hunting. I call it prospecting. Those who learn to ask for business consistently always do well in real estate. But the problem in real estate, a lot of our agents come in and they think that the business is about servicing the buyers. You just wait, you say, come on in, can I help you? And then you work with them. And that sounds good. It sounds like a servicing business. But in this business, servicing client is not enough for succeeding. We have to actually catch the actual fish before we clean the fish. We have to go hunting for our prey before we can serve it. In real estate, you're not a servicer. You're not an order taker. You are a prospector. And those who get that tend to do really well in business. They grow their business and they do really well. Those who don't tend to struggle. They tend to not do as well because they say, well, my personality is to wait for people to come to me. And if they come to me, I can help them. I'm like, yes, that's great, but that's not the industry. This business is a different animal. We need to learn how to catch the lead before we service the lead. That's called prospecting. And guess what? 80% of agents in the industry do not prospect enough. If you ask them, how much time do you devote on a daily basis to find new clients, people you don't know, people you're going to service, people you're going to take care of, you will notice very few of them prioritize that. They never put it first. They put it last because they prefer the servicing, the order taking, rather than the prospecting, what you call the fishing or the hunting. See, there are 5 areas of real estate that have to be managed properly. And if you fail in one of them, the big picture is always a struggle. Here they are. The first one is called having the mindset of an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur, being a business person, being a person who does not get paid for the hours they work, they get paid for the results they create. That shift from being an employee, where you get paid for the hard work you do per hour, to the shift where you get paid for the results you create, and there's no limit on how much you can make, that shift has to occur first. And a lot of agents don't do it. In fact, let me share this with you guys. Some of you already have read this book because I know some of you very well, and I'm glad you're with me today. But this book here called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber should be a required reading of every realtor. The letter E stands for entrepreneur. Shifting your mindset away from being an employee who gets paid by the hour to an entrepreneur who gets paid for the result is not for everyone. That is the major shift that happens. Again, I want you to consider reading this book, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It is an old book. It is an excellent book. It should be a required reading of every entrepreneur, and that therefore every realtor. So that first attitude that when you wake up in the morning, you're driving the bus of your existence. You're the one in charge. You're the one creating the plan. There isn't somebody else doing it for you. You're doing it for yourself. That's the first hurdle. The second one is consistency. See, the consistency of prospecting is what's lacking. A lot of agents have a good heart. They have a good intention. They wake up and go, today I'm going to give it all I got. And guess what? By 12 noon, they're watching CNN. And you're going, what are you doing? Well, I'll do it tomorrow. For some reason, there's this belief that tomorrow is better than today. Why not today? Why not do the work you told yourself is necessary today? That postponement, that idea that tomorrow I'll have more time. Next year I will work harder. I will arrive in about 10 years. The question is, why not today? Why is it about today that you're not willing to give it all you got? That consistency of prospecting is one of the biggest failures of realtors when they start their business because they think they should be servicing the deals rather than creating the business. The third part is controlling their listing presentation. You don't want to create an environment where people want to talk to you about real estate and you don't show up and present why they should list with you. Remember, they're not just listing with your company. They're not just listing with your brokerage. They're listing with you. They want to know, why should I trust you to take care of this expensive house and help us sell it? And you need to be able to have presentation skills. Some of you probably have a listing presentation that you have not rehearsed, or you don't even have one. You just walk in and try to wing it, or just say, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best, and you think they're going to give you the listing. There's a decorum. There is a way of asking for listing, and that area of the business needs to be taken care of. The fourth area of business, and you know it, it's time blocking. It's deciding what today is going to look like. It's deciding what next week is going to look like, creating a plan for it, time blocking it, and doing the block of time properly. We call those your daily habits. Problem is, you work for yourself. You can change your mind. You tell yourself, I'm going to do this. And then at 10 a.m., you're supposed to make your 20 calls. And guess what you do? I'll do it later. Because it's your business. See, that's the blessing and the curse. The blessing is that you work for yourself. You get to decide what to do. The curse is that you work for yourself and you get to decide what to do. These two things are always pulling and pushing you in different direction. That discipline, that self-discipline. Since I'm talking about self-discipline, can I talk about one more book? Let me give you one more book. In fact, I encourage every broker who's listening to me to give this book to their agents when they join. It's called No Excuses by Brian Tracy, The Power of Self-Discipline. I'll say it again. No Excuses by Brian Tracy, The Power of Self-Discipline. See, self-discipline is what gets you to do what you said you're going to do. And that, for some people, is an empowering idea. They get empowered. They get excited. They go, hey, I can do this. For others, it's actually a disempowering conversation because they don't like to do things they don't want to do. And guess what? The difference between the realtors who make money and those who don't, those who make money ask for business. Those who don't wait for the business to come to them. And the final area that you have to master, which is part of the fundamentals of being a real estate professional, is your mental toughness. It's your ability to hear no from someone and not crumble. You'll ask somebody, well, let me ask you, have you thought about selling your home? And they say, no, we're not selling our home. And we will not sell our home with your company. And for you not to fall apart, that ability, which we call mental toughness or stamina, most agents easily give up. They hear no, and for them, their world is shattered. They just break down. And I'm like, dude, relax. They said no. It's fine. You don't have to have everybody say yes to you. You just get your no's and eventually you'll get your yeses. Here's the interesting part about business in real estate. You don't need a lot of yeses. You just need 20 people a year to say yes to you for you to make more than 100,000 a year. Only 20. So therefore you need to relax. This is not a competition for how many people like you. Some people don't like you and you haven't done anything wrong. You know why? Maybe because the way you look, because the way you talk, or the way you behave. That will happen to all of you. You will never be liked by everyone. That is not how you succeed. The way you succeed, you ask enough people, and then the right people will show up and they will say yes to you. And that's how you build your career. You build your career around the no's, because statistically speaking, there's always a yes behind the no. We need to stop thinking that those 5 areas I just showed you are for the naturals. Like there's people out there who walk around the planet like they're natural. They can do real estate, and the rest of us, it's not for us. That is not true. Real estate is an area of skill. Those 5 areas I was talking about are areas of skill. You sharpen the saw, you get better. You do it again and again and again, and you get better. You learn better scripts. You learn to ask for business. You learn to make a presentation. You learn to make phone calls. We call those skills. This is why this is a boot camp. I designed this as a boot camp because it's an area of skill. And I have seen it. I've worked with many agents who had no skills because they were new, develop the skills, and they start getting results. And then they start becoming top agents in their offices. It's not that they were born with real estate in their brain. You are not born for real estate. You become it because you want to. If you really want to succeed in real estate, you will. You don't have to worry, well, I'm an outgoing personality, I'm going to do well. I know a lot of outgoing personalities who are terrible at real estate. And I know a lot of people who are very introverted and very personal, and they are awesome at real estate. It's a skill. You just need to learn the skills. This is why I designed this boot camp around 8 weeks. But I want you to think about it carefully. You're in the boot camp for 8 weeks, but 2 weeks prior, you're getting into the boot camp, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then 2 weeks after, there's a wrap up around the boot camp. So you are really in the boot camp for 3 months. During those 3 months is the best period of time to develop new habits. Habits do not happen overnight. Habits require repetition. Repetition is your best friend in habits. Just think about brushing your teeth. You don't tell your kid when he's a young boy or she's a young girl, when they are like 3, 4, 5 years old, they say, this is the beginning of the year. I'm going to tell you to brush your teeth. I'm not going to say it again. I'm going to be done. No, you have to say it over and over and over again until it becomes a habit, until you observe it and you see, oh, they just, before they went to bed, they brushed their teeth. That's good, because habit requires repetition. So most of you who are new to business, or some of you, you've been in business, but things have not worked out the way you want. It's possible you're lacking some business fundamental habits that you apply daily And then by applying them, the results will show up. And that's what the boot camp is all about. It's about giving you the skills and then repeat, repeat, repeat. And guess what? If you don't like somebody in your face telling you to repeat, this boot camp is not for you. Now, I want you to consider this idea. When you develop good business habit, time becomes your ally. Time becomes your asset. You're no longer complaining about time. You're no longer saying, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Because you've developed some good business habit, time becomes your friend. When you develop bad habits, time becomes your enemy. So I want you to think about time. By the way, the beauty about time is we all have the same amount. Each one of us, when we woke up this morning, started with 24 hours. And at some point, the 24 hours are up. And they're up for all of us equally. My hours are not longer than yours or shorter than yours, and vice versa. But see, with good habits, your time is your ally. With bad habits, you develop excuses. Time is a fertilizer of good habits. The more time you spend on good habits, you create success. The more time you spend with bad habits, you create excuses. You tell everybody why life is not the way you want it to be. You will find excuses that are either external to you, could be your family, could be the economy, it could be the market. You will always find an excuse to blame for not having time work out for you. So, maybe this is the time for you to develop good habits. Let me give you some statistics. In the United States, we have about 2 million licensed real estate agents. Out of those 2 million real estate licensed agents, there are 1.3 million realtors. In the United States, believe it or not, there is a consistency in the number of listings. In the United States, we do about 5 to 5.3 million listings a year. And if you looked at it from sides, each transaction has two sides, a buyer representation, a seller representation. We do about 10.5 million transactions a year. Believe it or not, we only need 500,000 agents. We do not need 2 million. We don't even need 1.3 million realtors. We only need 500 million committed realtors. We call those the prospectors, the hunters, the ones who go out there and ask for business. We have plenty of order takers. In every office, if you looked at it carefully, some more so than others, not every office is the same. If you looked at an office honestly, here's what you'll find. You'll find that about 50 to 60% are order takers. They're just waiting for the business to land on their lap. And about 10-20%, they're the go-getters. They're out there. You can see them. You can see them working. They have a different attitude. They have a different way of looking at their business. That's what you need to become to succeed in real estate. Now, if real estate is just something you do as a hobby, or if real estate is something you do as a side gig, of course, why would you listen to me? Why would you be in a boot camp? Don't do the boot camp. You don't need it. There's plenty of things you can do on your own. But if you're tired of dabbling, making stuff up as you go along, not having a proper structure to your day, not knowing how to ask for business, if you want to become a hunter, a prospector, and realize that we have plenty of order takers, we just need more prospectors, then the boot camp could be something for you to consider. How did this come about? I mean, people ask me all the time, when did you design this? For the longest time, I do what's called one-on-one coaching with brokers or team leaders. And that can be expensive. So a lot of agents wanted to be part of it, but it's expensive. They couldn't be part of it. So what I decided is for a certain group of people, I'm going to design a boot camp, a course that allows them to go either from nothing or from areas of difficulty and then push themselves forward. And here's what I found. Anybody can succeed. It really is up to you. If you're going to do this boot camp, there's one thing I need you to understand. You need to be coachable. You need to be collaborative. You need to work with other people in the boot camp. You're not going to be working by yourself. If you wanted to attend the course and just observe, just watch the course, you're not, first of all, you're not going to be in it from the get-go, because you will know that from the get-go. But second, why would you do it? Why would you take a course to be an observer? You don't play basketball by watching it. You play basketball by actually throwing the basket, the ball into the basket. You have to learn how to play with the team. So think of this boot camp as playing the game with a coach and another 24 people with you playing together. That's how to think about it. If you are attending it as an observer, it probably is not for you. This course, people ask me, who benefits? I can tell you, every program that I do. I just finished one about a month ago. And the one I just finished, I had 4 brokers in it. I had 6 brand new agents, and the rest were in between. So it's about where you are. The question is more like this. Are the business habits that I have helping me get what I want? If the business habits that you have are already getting you what you want, you're done. You don't have to be here. You've already arrived. You're a success because you're already getting what you want. It's when you have the desire, when you have the mental attitude, but you don't have the tools, the structure, the accountability, the time blocking, putting you in a box so that you can succeed. That's when you go, is this for me? But let's be honest about this. If you don't have an inner burning desire to succeed, it is very hard for me to support you in that journey, because I cannot want it for you more than you want it for yourself. So I always tell people, I don't worry about people who don't know a lot. It's okay not to know a lot. In fact, you can join this bootcamp knowing nothing about real estate. So it's not what you know that matters to me. Is your desire to succeed? Is your desire strong enough for you to go where you want to go? Will you do the things that you go, I'm scared of it? I'm like, I get it. I get it. You're scared of the phone. I hear you. Let's get to it. Let's get you past that fear. I'm scared of making a listing presentation. I go, I get it. Let's get past that fear, because whatever fear you have, you can actually overcome. And the way you overcome it is by having scripts, by having system, by having checklists, and by practicing with other people. So your desire for success, I cannot manufacture. I cannot want it for you. You got to want it for yourself. You have to be coachable, collaborative. There will be 3 assignments given to you before December the 4th. So I want you to imagine this. And it's already happening. People are registering. And when they register, they get the first email from me. When they get the first email from me, I give them their first assignment. They work on it. We talk to each other. We make sure that the assignment, they gave it their best. Then I give them a second assignment. They work on it. They do their best with it. And then they get a third assignment. Same thing. They work on it and they do their best with it. And then once I see that there is a desire to implement, a desire to do the work, it's not whether they did it perfectly or not. I don't care about perfection. I care about progress. So as they do the exercises that tell me, okay, they want to do this. They are playing the game of success. They don't have all the answers, but they're jumping into it. When you are in that realm, then before December the 4th, you get an invitation to join the bootcamp. So as long as you're willing to do the work and willing to step up, you have a place in the bootcamp. What are the logistics? The logistics are, first of all, the bootcamp is live. There are 8 Fridays in a row. We start exactly at 9 a.m. Eastern. You're supposed to log in 20 minutes prior. So we start logging in around 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We start at 9. We go all the way to 12:30 and we have a break of 15 minutes in between. The only day that is not going to be a Friday, because it will be between Christmas and New Year's, we will do that class on December the 30th on a Wednesday. So all of the dates starting December 4th are the classes will be on a Friday except for one, which is a Wednesday. And you will have, and I need you to know this right now, you will have daily assignments that are micro assignments, assignments that you can do very quickly. We call those micro assignments. They are daily. Then you will have what I call weekly assignments, which we call the big kahuna. Once a week, you will be given a big assignment to work on. And then you will have accountability, meaning that you and 2 other people in the class will work together to support each other to go to the next level. And they don't have to be in your office. Some people, in the last course I had people from Utah, Colorado, North Carolina, Virginia, you name it. They were Chicago. They're everywhere. And those people formed relationships so they don't have to be in the same room. So when I say accountability, I don't mean physical accountability. It's more communication accountability. And there are requirements that you will adhere to this accountability game. These are some of the topics I'm going to be covering. I'm not going to talk about them. If you have questions about the topics, you can ask me questions. What should you know is that each session, each live session comes with a 15, 20 page document, which we call the handout. By the end of the course, you end up with a binder of 200 pages. You also end up with additional 75 videos, how-to videos above and beyond the class that we do. And remember, I only take 24 to 30 people. When you register, you do not pay for the course. When you register, you're putting yourself on the pathway towards the course. Then we work together for the next 3 weeks, and then you then choose to participate in the class. So before I give you my wrap up idea, why don't I turn it over to you guys and have you either ask me questions through the chat function or turn on your webcam or turn on your microphone and ask me a question. If you cannot ask me a question right now, I'm giving you my phone number and my email address. You can always email me or call me to discuss them. What questions can I answer for you about the boot camp, the structure, what you should know?
I have a question, Key.
Sure.
Hey, it's Karen Byron in Montana. Hope everybody's doing well. So I just actually received it yesterday, got the No Excuses by Brian Tracy. And I will order as soon as we get off the other book. Are there any other books to prepare for the class that you recommend, suggest, require, please?
Yes. And I'm gonna give you a couple. For those who are brand new, I mean, you are new to real estate, you've never done a deal, you're like, I need to wrap my mind around real estate. I find this book here called Secrets of Selling from Real Estate Masters. Secrets of Selling from Real Estate Masters. It was written by Terry Weaver to be a very easy and good read for agents who want to, like, I want to understand this deal making stuff. I want to get it. I want to wrap my mind around it. I find that brand new agents who've never put a deal together can start breathing better by reading this book. I found it useful. Another book I recommend for those of you who are in the, or you like to make deals, you want to negotiate, you want to get people to say yes to you. This book here, Yes, by Robert Cialdini, and Cialdini is spelled Cialdini. Yes, by Robert Cialdini, 50 scientifically proven ways to be persuasive, to be insightful. Now, if you've never closed a deal, you probably want this book first. But if you put deals together and you want to get to become more persuasive, you find yourself struggling with the management of your client, they're not listening to you as well, and you're realizing that you're not as strong, this book can be insightful. And I'll give you guys one more. For those of you who are not managing your time really, really well, and you need to have a breakthrough in the next few months, Organize Tomorrow Today, this yellow book by Jason Selk, Selk, Organize Tomorrow Today, has proven to be very useful for a lot of agents.
Thank you very much, Key. I look forward to ordering them all.
Excellent. Anybody else have a question about the boot camp, how it works, the interview process, the assignments, the fear, the anxieties, the stuff where you want to understand what you're getting yourself into? Anybody have a question? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is let me end by sharing with you these two quotes on success. Ambition matched with action is the path to success. Persistence is the vehicle you're arriving. See, after you've gotten your ambition right and you matched it with action, you already know you're on your path to success. But the only way you can arrive to that success is by having persistence. So think of persistence as the vehicle you get into every day to get you to success. This quote of success was said by Bill Bradley. This one is by Jim Rohn, who I really love. If you're not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. And that means you got to step outside your comfort zone. To succeed in real estate is a little bit about stepping outside your comfort zone. The stuff you know, and the stuff you don't know that scares you, you may have to tackle. And we need to get outside that comfort zone to get to where you want to go. Again, this is not a boot camp to convince you that real estate is for everyone. Real estate is not for everyone. But if you're going to do it, why not do it well? Any other questions before we say goodbye?
I have a question.
Yes.
I received the first email from you,
Mhm.
and it said that we're going to do a call or interview that take about 30 to 45 minutes. Are we going to, when you text me, will we schedule that then?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure so I'll be in a position that we could talk.
Correct. Yeah, I will be
Okay.
texting you to let you know, is this a good time to talk or when can we talk? Then we'll schedule the time and we'll take about a 30 to 40 minutes conversation, and then we'll talk about your business. I know some of you have other commitments as well.
Right. And so after that, then we'll get our first assignment.
That's correct. So after the interview, it's not an interview, it's called setting success on the right pillars. So we put the pillars in place and we make sure we're playing the same game. I don't want to be playing chess where you're playing some other game. We got to be playing the same game. So that's the first interview. At the end of that call, you will get your first assignment, and I will give you 4 days to work on it. And then you work on it by yourself. You give it your best. You send it back. We discuss it. send you your second assignment, discuss it, send you your third assignment, and then I'll send you an invitation to the course.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anybody else have a question, comment, or clarification they wish from me? Well, I see a lot of you joined me today. I'm so grateful for you. I hope some of you choose to join me in the course. You already have the URL. You already have my phone number. You already have my email. I hope to see you in one of my classes. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much, Key.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being with me.